Hey there, I'm here to share my testimony of perseverance and triumph. My journey over the past several years has been marked by challenges, it's been marked by grace, it's been marked by God's glory, it's been marked by His peace, but it's been marked by challenges I never imagined I would face. I've built my life around service, first in public education, then through my own business and nonprofit work. I believe in collaboration. I believe in community. I believe in love. I believe in the idea that when people work together with integrity, everyone rises. But beginning around 2017 or 2018, I found myself targeted in ways that were both unexpected and deeply damaging. Thank God He's a healer, and I'm grateful that I'm a believer. Individuals within certain circles started engaging in behavior that went far beyond competition. There were lies, there was slander, there were intentional efforts to disrupt my life, my work, and my reputation. At the time, I pushed through it, believing that perseverance and professionalism would be enough. And for a while, things were improving. They were getting better. I was stabilizing. By 2019, this is when these things happened. I returned to Louisiana during the pandemic. Louisiana is my birthplace. I worked virtually, rebuilt momentum. My business was growing again. Things were moving. My nonprofit work was gaining traction. I felt a new sense of alignment with my purpose, just like I did when I was in public education. But then things were booming. Things were doing well. Starting to boom, starting to move, winning awards, this, that, and the other. I didn't know that there were things happening behind the scenes. In early 2022, I moved back to Texas full time. Something shifted again, and this time the consequences were far more severe. A business engagement that initially seemed promising began to reveal a lot of troubling signs, and there were some other things that were happening. People started acting strangely in meetings. There were indicators that conversations were happening behind my back and behind other people's backs, things said privately, things hinted at publicly, and a growing sense that something was being stirred up without my knowledge, right? And this came from different angles. Then came the physical symptoms. After one meeting, I felt chest pain unlike anything I've ever experienced before. Soon after, I began experiencing a series of events, both natural and spiritual, that left me really shaken. There were moments that really felt surreal, moments that felt targeted, moments that left me questioning how far people were willing to go after quest for stuff that they may not necessarily need. What began as professional tension escalated into harassment, interference, deeply unsettling experiences that affected my physical body, my well-being, and my spiritual peace. And so by mid-2022, the pressure intensified. There was some harassment from some folks nearby. There were disruptions in my living environment, and a series of strange incidents created a very hostile atmosphere. Now, anybody that knows me will know I am a queen of peace. I am a queen of harmony. And so this was very different for me and very not wanted. My quality of life began to deteriorate from, housing, transportation, medical civility. Even my basic peace was compromised. The stress and the interference reached a point where between September and October, I experienced, this is 2022, what felt like a mild heart attack. And after I experienced that, and along again with some really weird spiritual things, I packed a bag and I fled for my safety. I didn't know what was going to happen to me, but I knew I had to get out of the place where I was living. There were other things that were strange that were starting to happen. Children were running away and things were missing. My tires got slashed and my window was broken too. So all of those things were going on. The months that followed seemed a little bit promising. People were supportive initially, but then some were followed by some of the hardest of my life. Again, as I mentioned, my car was broken too. Personal items were missing. My business operations were disrupted. Emails, websites, communication channels interfered with. And there were even attempts at people disrupting my recovery and my healing. Individuals who are part of some of the criminal activity started to show up in the places where I was getting my healing and recovery. And tried to disrupt my progress. A trip. So, needless to say, prior to that, by November 2022, I made a decision, and honestly, it was a gut reaction, and response. Everything was about to leave Texas and returned back to Louisiana. Touch home base. I was physically, mentally, spiritually exhausted. And the symptoms I experienced resemble as what many have described as Havana syndrome. Intense pressure. There was neurological distress, a sense of being under attack in ways that defy simple explanation. As a woman of faith, I understand some of it involved witchcraft. Some of it involved divination. I was fighting to stay alive. I was fighting to stay grounded and fighting to hold on to the purpose that I spent years building. 2023 became a year of recovery, and not the kind of recovery that happens in a few weeks or months. I do believe that it could have taken a few weeks or a few months, but it was the kind that requires rebuilding from the inside out. Because while I was healing, while I was resting, while I was working when I could, even if it was a little bit at the time, the damage was real and people were still doing things. But some of the things that happened, I lost the ability to conduct business normally for over a year. My income dropped dramatically. My nonprofit work was interrupted. My reputation was harmed. My quality of life was completely disrupted. My car, mail, essential resources were targeted and affected. And the emotional and spiritual and relational toll was honestly very difficult. Very difficult. Financially, the damage is likely to exceed $1 million. I kid you not, including lost business. And when I think about the individuals and groups who were involved, it is likely to exceed that amount. The lost business, the lost donations, the lost work. I think about people. I think about their lives. I think about their souls. The ripple effects of not being able to work full time like I'm used to. Cease and desist were issued. Some individuals continued with their interference, though. They didn't care. Or they tried to get other people to be in on it. Even in 2023 and into 2024, some remnants of the same behavior appeared in different ways. Attempts to hinder progress, attempts to disrupt opportunities or create fear at this very moment. There are little hints of little things that happen every now and then. They try to infiltrate your home by trying to create gateways and claiming what they're not going to do and how they're not going to stop and this, that, and the other. Yet through it all, I kept going and I keep going and I keep believing that my life's works matters. And I keep believing that justice will come. And I keep believing that healing is fully possible because I'm a walking miracle. They've gotten away with hurting certain people. Certain people are no longer here on earth. But I'm still here and I still have purpose. Now, mind you, by 2024, things finally began to shift, right? My physical health improved. My mind became clearer. My spirit much stronger. Thank God my gift's still intact. Thank God my mental capacity is still intact. The interference lessened, and I began reclaiming my life piece by piece, bit by bit. Now, business hasn't 100% fully returned just yet, but I'm glad that I'm getting back out there. I'm hopeful, and I am cognizant of what's going on. So this rebuilding, recovery, restoration is being done with intention, with wisdom, and a deeper understanding of who I am and what I carry. A completely different understanding of that. I have had to postpone some events, and I've had to restructure plans and navigate setbacks and still help other people navigate stuff because that's what I'm used to doing and that's what they're used to. And there are things that I've had to navigate and endure that nobody probably ever should, but I'm still here. I'm still standing. I'm still committed to my purpose. God's not done with me yet. I tried to throw in the towel. He gave it right back. So this testimony is not about what was just done to me. It is about what I overcame as well. And it is about a God who carries people. It is about the resilience that carries me. I don't fear. I just get annoyed because I am used to a certain structure in my life. It is about overcoming uncertainty, and it is about overcoming some, years of very targeted adversity. And it's also to encourage you and know that the same strength that I get from God and from those that He's placed in my life to keep moving forward when everything was designed to stop is the same God that can rewrite anybody's story. And even get the pen back or the pencil back when, the darkness tried to interfere and tried to interrupt. So I share this because silence only protects those who cause harm, right? I share this because others may be experiencing similar battles in the shadows. I share it because I want to complete my mission on earth. I am called to multiple generations. And I do believe that we are all put here for a purpose, and to enjoy life before going to that better place. I share because perseverance deserves to be witnessed, and triumph deserves to be celebrated, and you deserve to be encouraged and know that you are not crazy and you are seen. And I have to speak up about it. I have to. So yeah, I'm seeking justice, and I'm working on that in Conversations Where Damage Is Done. Not out of bitterness, but out of necessity and out of principle. And I think more principle than anything. My work matters. My life matters. And the impact that I'm called to make in this world will not be stolen by greed or jealousy or envy or corruption or spiritual malice. So this is part of my testimony. I was targeted. I was harmed. I almost lost my life, but I didn't lose my purpose. I didn't lose my faith. I didn't lose my focus, and I didn't lose myself. And I certainly didn't lose my God. So I'm rising again, stronger, wiser, and more determined than ever. And if I'm doing it, you can do it as well. You can do it as well. God be with you and Godspeed. Love you.